Okay, it is time to do the guaranteed SSR ticket. This is not the GSSR. This is a ticket that is going to be in the Da Vinci shop. After you clear Fuyuki, you're going to be able to pick any one of the servants on here. And if you are like long past that point, like you are up to date with the story, you could just pick a 5-star on here. This ticket is only going to have all of the permanent and story. Oh, sorry, not all of them, because Ritra's not here. If Vitra was on here, then it would be like all story locked and permanent servants, but it's not. I'm trying to see the point of what they're stopping, because there are Lost Belt story locked servants here. So I think it's anything before, yeah, after Lost Belt 3, I believe. They stopped adding servants to this, which is fine. If, say, 8th anniversary is going to give another 5-star ticket, we will be seeing probably every permanent and story lock from... that actually is a good question, because we've gotten a good bunch of permanent and story locked over the last couple months, actually. Laching Koji, Bima. Yeah. So... in the future, this might be expanded upon, but for right now, it's these 25 servants. This is not going to be as long a video as the GSSR guide, because a lot of these servants, it really doesn't matter which one you pick in the grand scheme of things. What I mean by that is I am taking JP buffs into consideration on this. So, for instance, 1, 2, 3. Since Mordred's buff, it doesn't matter which one you pick. And boost this up to 150% so you guys can see. Altera, 304,000. Artoria, 344,000. Mordred, 350,000. Yes, Altera looks to be like not as competitive, but she's using Bunyancy. These two are using basic, like similar to a Black Rail. It depends on your account. Artoria is going to be the servant that is functional right at the gate, right when the ticket comes out, right when Koyan Sky comes out. Altera, I believe her buff is with the Bunyan event, so that's going to be next April or March. Let's see which one gives battery. Yep, April, late April. That's also when Tomo Lancer gets her buff too. So you'd have to wait till then. Mordred, she only just recently got this buff. I think in late April, May. Yeah, it was the collab. It was arcade, right? I'm pretty sure it was arcade. Uh-oh, this isn't up yet. Unfortunate. Oh my god, that's actually hilarious though. It's hilarious that this isn't buffed yet. Or it doesn't show when it got buffed. But yeah, this I believe was the arcade collab. And this allows her to do buster farming like better. Like it actually lets her stack buffs. So for the Sabers, pick whichever one you don't have or whichever one you would like the most. Really doesn't matter in the long run. They all do exceptional damage, far exceeding their competition. Like to the point that Uki either needs an MP buff or they need to like let her touch Black Rail, which I'm hesitant on that one. Like letting a Buki touch Black Rail is you're cooking with actual like fire with that, because like she doesn't have MP damage, and like this is her damage with a 50% battery. and she has like some of the highest buffs. Like it's not like Artoria. Like we see her damage jump. We see this damage jump because of her mana burst, the way it works. Ibuki is probably gonna like hit 400,000 if she can touch Black Rail easily hitting 400,000. But Ibuki's not even on the ticket, so we're not worried about it. But okay, actually, the main consideration here is, are you going to have Oberon? If you don't have Oberon, you should be picking Saber, because she is the only one on this list that does not need Oberon for buster farming. These two absolutely need Oberon. So if that's where your consideration is, like you don't plan on rolling Oberon, pick Artoria. You're still gonna need Vitch for them, obviously. You're gonna need Vitch for any of the buster farmers here. Next up, we have the archers. I'm gonna straight up say it. You probably shouldn't be picking Orion. I forget if this is when they get their buff though. No, this has been in the game for a long time. I could have sworn they were getting a buff soon. No, that buff happened a long ass time ago. Yeah, so Orion and Jeanne probably are the lower performing ones on this list. Orion, like, their MP is phenomenal. It's just their refund is atrocious, and you will basically be damn close to quick or buster farming with her. Like that's the amount of refund you're gonna get out of it. You're not gonna get much. She also does not have a battery, so it makes it even harder. Arjuna, his battery situation is just weird as shit, and it's almost like you have to like double proc this. Just it's weird. It's almost like it wants you to double proc this in order to do the looping, but in order to do that, you need to use Atlas, meaning you can't use Oberon, and that's not just it. You have to pop this on turn 1. You can't use K-Scope either. But that's in terms of buster farming, and I still don't like this, his third skill. He's more catered to like harder-ish content. Like you're not gonna insta-kill often. You're not gonna insta-kill, especially divine enemies. Like that's trash mobs. Like the chance of you insta-killing a divine servant is so insignificantly low. It's not like look at these chances. 24% chance with the best stuff buffing it. Like no. His OC is nice though. Like he is not meant for this meta. He is the way he is designed is from FGO in the past. If you're clearing through story, he's fine. His cooldown, like his skill durations are very good. The uptime on most of his skills are good. This one sucks. But yeah, Jeanne is not someone you should be picking. Napoleon and Tesla. These two are kind of interchangeable. Tesla is getting his buff in March next year. Yes, for Tesla Cup. This is probably like one of the most disgusting buffs like they could have given him. They guarantee that he has like MP damage and the defense every single time. Every single time. It's literally, you're gonna have to max out these skills, but that's what you have to do for buster farming anyway. Like in general, Tesla usually, like if you're not fighting servants, like if you're farming, Tesla is usually gonna be the one that has like probably guaranteed killing. Oh no, it is servant. It is servant. Okay. He's not gonna out damage Gilgamesh. Not with Gilgamesh's most recent buff, but he has more team utility than Gilgamesh. Like, he hits close to Gilgamesh's numbers, but he provides way more for the team. Like, he's not that far off. Gilgamesh hits just a lot more servants harder. Tesla does hit a lot of servants though. Sky and Earth are not, like, it's both of them. Like, it's not two separate power mods, it's Sky or Earth. So you are gonna hit same kind of enemies Ibuki would hit. And same power mod that, oh god, Durga would hit. Like, I mean, this is super effective, not a power mod, but similar, they have similar niches. This 500 damage to yourself is nothing. Don't consider that a merit. It is literally nothing. If you're using Black Rail, like, you get this every single turn no matter what. So why would you complain about it when it's like not? It could have been 3,000. This could have been 3,000 like Mio before her buff. Yeah, Tesla is definitely up for consideration for me of who I'm pulling for the ticket, and it's mainly because he is story locked. That's the other thing. Some of these story locked servants, Tesla, Lartoria, Kets, Meb, casters, I think all permanent. Li Shuin and Sitonai. You normally are not going to get these servants unless you are specifically summoning for them, which for a lot of these servants, you're probably not because of how, like, far and behind the times they are, unless you really like them. Story lock servants just have, like, they're basically limited servants. Like, even the 4 stars, they function as event servants. They do, like MP2 and then Bond 4 or 5, and they unlock their pen, while a permanent needs MP3 and Bond 6. So, like, if you can get, like, for instance, you might pick Artoria off this, and then, like, while you're summoning on the Vitch banner, you get spooked by Artoria. Like, how salty are you actually going to be? That is the main consideration you have to be thinking about. Are you pulling something on here for an MP copy or a new servant? Because if it's a new servant, you might want to hold off until your Vitch summoning, like your 6th anniversary summoning, is done before you pick on this ticket. The ticket doesn't go away, by the way. You do not need to use this up right now. You could wait until after Oberon just to be doubly sure that you're not gonna get spooked by whoever you pick on this ticket. But again, it all depends to you. It all depends on you. Sorry. Last one of the archers, Napoleon. He is specific for divine, but I don't believe it's divine servant. We'll see that in a second. Yes, it is just divine, and he has an MP buff, and it's Ishtar Light with the 20 stars, but he also has Pierce defense. Gives it to him. It's not part of the MP. And Pierce Invoke. So this can be stopped with buff block, unfortunately. Yeah, like, again, he hits divine enemies, not divine servants. That is a very big distinction, because yes, there are a shit ton of divine servants. Divine enemies they're not uncommon though. As I scroll down through this, like, yes, a lot of these are servants, but there are a lot of maybe not trash mobs, but a couple of mobs in here too. I'm scrolling through this list though, and I'm mostly seeing, like, servants though. How the fuck does Kamo count as divine? He's from Gouda. What kind of bullshit shenanigans are they playing? Yeah, like, Out of all these units, though, I do think Napoleon is the weakest one to pull off here because A, he is permanent. You can get spooked by him. B, he's got a 30% and a lot of this is one turn. That's the main distinction from it, like his competition. A lot of his shit is one turn, which it's a pretty big issue with Vitch. It's a fairly big issue. This skill to make him better, like, because this part of it further increases attack for 1 turn. That's fine with being only a 1 turn thing. This is at least 3 turns. But this being a 1 turn thing is a bit of an issue because it stops him from ramping, like, from double stacking this. You will not be able to double stack this unless you're using Atlas. The cooldown is just too much. So, because this is basically a tactics, but better, but not by much. So he's kind of down on the list. We could have done this as a tier list, honestly, but I didn't want to do this as a tier list. Next up, we have Lartoria. Lartoria is not the most tragic case, but it is like they knew Vitch was coming out, and the way they buffed her was they made her first skill an actual tactical nuke if you are fighting someone that is chaotic evil. But the thing is, Melisyn exists, and she kind of like just out damages her pretty fairly badly. Like even using Bunyan's, not Bunyan, even using like a Black Rail substitute. Oh wait. Oh, okay, no, I'm misreading this. Yeah, like any her damage isn't there. Like it is less than half of Melisyn's just damage using a 50% CE. I don't even know if this is starting from 0 or not, honestly. I think this is starting from yeah, this actually might be her starting from 0. Oh no, but it's Bunny and C, obviously. No, she might be just starting at 50% with this, like a normal buster farming. Like you're barely using the 3rd skill the way it is made. So Lartoria, I feel like she needs an MP buff before like I can recommend people like actually summoning for her. Like like it's an MP buff and it needs to do something else besides just this. I don't know, maybe ramp up MP damage. Like the lance just gets stronger the more it's no, actually that would be a pretty cool lore thing. That the lance gets stronger the more Artoria uses it. Thus she gets closer to the divine spirit Rongominiad. I think that actually would be like really cool. And that kind of MP damage ramp up would let like she'd be stacking a lot more MP damage than people realize. If that was the MP buff, that probably would bring her a lot closer to Melisyn. It definitely would bring her closer to like her other competition, because as you can see here, like even ignoring Melisyn, with her starting with the Black Row, she's still demolished by Aresh and Romulus, who like if you compare them to the Sabers, they're not even like, they're hitting like the low Saber and Archer numbers, and they're like Lartoria is down here. Like obviously these numbers aren't everything, MP copies matters, but like base to base, like she's underperforming. Bradamante, she got better with Ruler Scotty, but she's still, again, not performing the best. She's probably one of the hardest people on this list to actually use. And we got Britomart, who is, I think, based on Bradamante's legend, maybe. They're functionally the same, like, they're very similar units. And Britomart just can do quick farming better than Bradamante. Karna, very similar situation. He is okay if you're not talking, like, you need double overrun to farm with him. It's not pretty. And then Enkidu is nuts as a solo servant. I had to say the best for last, but Enkidu is literally the best, like, servant in this whole list. Like, it's honestly not even a competition for how good Enkidu is and how much praise he gets. Yeah. Solo servant, along with being an actual, like, nuke. Like, he has the 50% battery. You probably aren't going mana loading you to go extra attack if you've used Enkidu, but, like, power mod against threat to humanity, and then you stunned by targets. In most cases, these threat to humanity enemies also have divinity. Most of them also have some kind of divinity. Like, you see these foreigners, they have divinity from a foreign god. It's not our version of divinity, but they still have divinity. Yeah. So yes, he's type neutral for these, but he might also be able to stun lock in a very similar nature to Kama. But unlike Kama, his is guaranteed to land, like almost guaranteed, unless they are stun or immobilize immune, because that's what Ku Ultra has in the Bones challenge quest. Like, he's immune to immobility debuffs. But yeah, Enkidu just hits really hard, and then his overcharge is amazing. Defense down activates first of 3 turns, dude. Like, he makes it so you can't hurt him, and then he just hits you for so much harder. Like, if you need a single target Lancer, Enkidu should, like, you probably should be picking him off this list. He's really good. Like, guess the cooldown for, like, his heal and battery is a lot, but it is a chonky 10k heal with a debuff cleanse. Like, this before, like, you kind of got it, but it was still, like, too long of a cooldown. Now you're at, like, now you have a skill and it's a battery, and they didn't even adjust the cooldown. Like, yeah, like, this by itself being a 50% is usually 6 turns by itself. Disengage, but 10 times better. Like, 10 times the heal from a disengage. Yeah, like, you kind of understand why it's 10 turn. Oh, no, I was actually supposed to do that. All right, we come to riders. Drake, amazing Buster Farmer for, like, as a rider, like, amazing. She functions so well in the system. Yeah, she's not double stacking this, but because this is a 5 turn, you can pop this on turn 2 and 3. So, like, you get the damage that when you need it. She has not only MP gain for just farming setups, like if she needs to do face cards, she can regen a lot of her, she can regen a lot, because not only is it MP gain and higher, like, she has a higher base than Gilgamesh. This is slightly lower than Gilgamesh's, but it should, like, the base is better, so the percentage up should be better for her. She has fantastic hits on her quick and her arts card. They're not low hits, so you probably will MP and then refund the hit probably to 50%, especially if you crit on them. Buster up, ignore defense, 50% battery, ignore invul, stars return, mana loading or extra attack, buffed MP, no normal effect, but it drops 20 stars. This might be an MP that gets buffed again in the future. Drake is a very old servant, but she has scaled she has fit into this buster farming meta so goddamn well. It's like hard not to say, like, if you need a buster farming rider, pick her, because there is no buster farmer, or there is no farming berserker on this list. So it, like, if you need a farmer, you need to pick which class specifically. Her damage number is again, like, compared to the other servants, like the sabers, lancers, and archers, like, her damage isn't that good. But when you look at our competition, it's main competition Ivan, and Ivan is just ridiculous. I forgot he was a buster farmer too, along with bust killing servant. But Drake just needs, like, I don't think they're gonna buff Voyager of the Storm. They buff tactics, but they don't buff this skill because of how the damage scales on it. It's not great. They could make this 3-turn effects, but I don't think they're going to when this is 5-turn. I think that's a little too much damage, especially because they would normalize it to 20 and 20. They would not keep it 17 and 17. They would normalize it. So Drake is actually very likely to get another buff, just not, I don't see it anytime soon. Meb. I don't like the character, and she needs to get a costume that gives her the Fate trait, as we see in Avalon, because she got her buffs male or Fey allies, so she would be able to get her a battery from this. Yeah, like, she's anti-male, but I've used her, and she, like, I'm not gonna lie, she actually feels like, pause, she performed, God, I'm talking about Meb, and it's, everything can be taken in a lewd way. She functions in a very fluid manner. And does not have terrible numbers. There we go. I said it without implying innuendo with Meb. That's probably the hardest thing I'm going to do this video. Fuck me. Never mind. Chat, there is no script for this. I'm just I'm moving on. She's all right. If you want to pick a story lock servant, go for it. She's unfortunately better than Cats. Like, I like this character so much. I love them in Babylonia, but it just oh my god, I like this character so much, but I cannot recommend summoning for them right now. They fucking missed the opportunity to buff her and fix her, because I feel like they're not gonna. She needs, like, an event or something specific to her for her to get buffed, and I don't see that happening. It feels like they forgot Kets exists, because she's mentioned in Lost Belt 7 but never shows up. It's painful. It's painful. Like, her numbers are okay, but she can do buster looping, but it's like, she's better as a sub. It's the same situation as Da Vinci. None of her stuff is, like, fully for herself. She is sub DPS, all of it. The only selfish buff she has in her kit is her battery. Everything else is either for the party or, like, a debuff. Her MP needs a buff. I don't want to say this needs a buff, but keep clicking everything. Yeah, I would say her MP needs the biggest buff, but she used to be in competition with Ozzy, who we'll talk about next. But she's not performing as good. She just doesn't, like, they gave her a worse version of Ozzy's buff when she is supposed to be a great firebird of the sun. Why is it, like, I get Ozzy, he is son of Ra, I believe he's the sun god, which makes sense why he would get buffed on a sunlight battlefield. It makes sense why his MP would bring the sun. She is a goddess of the sun, goddess of Venus. Why is it like she doesn't get any bonuses from being on sunlight? She's a story locked, so value in picking her, but like that, this one is unfortunately just collection purposes unless they decide to buff cats in the future. Sad. Ozzy, this guy is ridiculous. If you're stuck at Demeter, pick him. He turns her into a joke. Buff success rate, he guarantees the Imperial privilege, AoE 20% battery, ridiculous buffs on sunlight battlefield, and he can, because the cooldowns are so low, he can loop this. I've done this before. It is really stupid what Ozzy can actually do. Oh my god, this guy is just so fucking, he performs so well. And then his MP is ridiculous because it seals MP, grants sunlight, so this is guaranteed. No matter who you're fighting, unless you're fighting this Kalipoka, who literally just shits on Ozzy. He is the anti-Ozzy in every sense of the word. And he also reduces his skill cooldowns, so he can pop these even more than a normal bitch setup. Like, you technically don't need Vetch to get him double stacking his abilities. Vetch just makes it so you're doing it like on turn 2. Not really talking about Bonzi stuff here. And then he also has defense down. It's not first, but who fucking cares? Who honestly cares if this happens first or not? His MP hits so goddamn hard now. He would be like top recommendation, like top recommendation, because he functionally is the, let me go over single targets. Besides these two down here, who are literal monsters of like single target damage, Ozzy is the best one if you're doing a longer fight. If you're trying to like go fast and return, you're picking these two. If you're like, say, Demeter, where you fully have class advantage, because you can bring these two to any fight except the Foreigner, Ozzy is mostly against casters. And casters by default have 2 actions. It's something that isn't fully talked about, but like casters have 2 actions. So like a single target rider is by nature more tanky if it's a 1v1 fight, because the caster won't have as many, like they can't hit you as many times. So unless they have trash mobs, which they usually do, or another servant with them, Ozzy kind of just takes a steaming dump on them. Like he laughs his Dio laugh. And that's the other reason you would pick Ozzy, because he's voiced by Dio. Right, we got to move on because I don't want this to be a super long video. Europa, she is a muster farmer too. Again, just like Drake. She's a 30%. So you need Oberon. You don't need Oberon with Drake. Issue is her damage is really bad. She has no way. She has hard buffs that are stacking, and that's it. No attack buff, and her attack is okay. It's definitely above the midpoint, but it's not amazing that would have to make up for this. She is more catered to challenge quests than farming. But if she's the only one you have, in most cases, if you're just farming casters, it should be fine. You should do enough damage. Because remember, this is not their super effective damage. This is them hitting something type neutral. So as long as whatever you're fighting, the trash mobs have less than 90,000 attack. I mean, 90,000 HP. And the boss has less than 300,000 HP. Europa's still going to kill. But much like Lartor, like, this gap is egregious when you compare her to Ivan, who literally does double her damage. No joke. It is like, it's not full double, but it's like 95% more damage than Europa. And Ivan also isn't on this list, so same CE setup. And he goes for more attack CE. Yeah, I don't even think he has MP damage, so Oberon, he's only doubling Oberon's damage. So Ivan, if he ever can get MP damage, is going to be really good. His numbers are going to be way better. But Europa, I'm trying to see which skill could actually get the skill buff. And it'd be this one. If they want to like let her Buster Farm better, they'll give her like a 3-turn attack buff. Or a charisma. I actually want to say they'd give her a charisma more than anything. Like a weak 20%, but 20% is literally better than nothing. Literally better than nothing, as shown with Mordred. Yeah, like just like Mordred, how her damage literally exploded overnight. Like Europa, if she gets an attack buff here, her damage will come a lot closer to Drake. Yeah, and she gets more Buster on her MP. It doesn't ramp up, so give her the attack buff, and her damage will look a whole lot better and be more competitive. But you really shouldn't need a tanky rider. Not this tanky. Ozzy can kind of do it. Like, if you need a tanky rider, you wouldn't be looking for an AoE. Achilles. Chat, I am so disappointed by his performance. It's not even funny. Even with the MP buff, he does not loop well at all. It is fairly bad. It is fairly bad. Yeah, like, apparently he can't do black rail looping. Or if you can, no, he can't do black rail looping, at least not at MP1. And considering he's meant to be fighting casters, get the highest refund, and he's not able to black rail loop on them, that's a bit of an issue. Just a bit. He needs MP gain so bad. If they buff this skill and make this part 3 turns, he is in a far better situation. But right now, this being a 1-turn buff is literally his Achilles heel. Like, yes, he does not have as many like multiplicative buffs. But right now, the issue is he does not refund. It's not damage. He's a quick looper, not a buster farmer. You can get more damage. Or you're not pigeonholed to like specific cooldowns. But when I used him for farming, he looped 30%. And I can't even remember if that was with his MP gain or not. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But 30% starting with, I think, and it might have been like the Barga CE, like a lady. So with more MP gain too, like he was not. Don't take my word for it, though, on refund, because there might have been other circumstances for that too. I just remember having a disappointed face when I saw what he refunded for. His MP is nuts for a challenge quest because he ramps up crit damage. But the problem is he needs to get to his MP first to get the crit damage. The problem is this man can't get back to his MP without face cards. So if you're farming, that's the problem. Like, his best case scenario is not for farming normal nodes, but to have like someone that his MP doesn't kill so we can face card refund. Like, that's not something you'd use to sell on a unit. Oh yeah, he barely does enough damage. He does enough damage to kill the trash ads, but he doesn't kill the boss, so you have to rely on RNG to get his refund back up. Like, no. He's cool. I like what he represents, but I can't recommend you pulling Achilles. We're at the casters now. This should be the obvious pick for a lot of people, but if you do not have waiver, if you don't have, but you do plan on rolling for any of the other 5-star meta supports, you rolled Castor and got her. You have Scotty. You plan on rolling for Vitch, Oberon 2. If you don't have waiver, or another of those other meta supports, you need to pick waiver. It will make your life so much easier. You'll be able to get through content so much easier. You'll be able to start farming so much easier. Your headspace will be clear of 12, 6, 7, 8 turn runs, and like it will get to consistent 3 turns. The best part is, if you are starting fresh, you will have the special ascension thing going on too, where you start playing the game first 3 months, I believe, and you can take any servant that you get from level 1 to their max ascension. Why that is amazing for waiver is because the second you unlock the skill, you have the gain for it. Leveling the skill does nothing for his gains, for how much battery he gives. So the second you use that ascension, you have a servant that can charge 50% without having to level his skills. That is waiver's biggest selling point. You do not have to level any of his skills if you're just trying to farm. Or one of his biggest selling points. If you are a big art slooping fan, pick Tomomo. She makes your runs so much, she makes your challenge quest runs so much more consistent, and really enables art slooping to like stand above buster farming and quick. Because what arts allows you to do is spam your MPs and have 0 uptime on buffs, and possibly, depending on cooldown, be able to double stack them. Now, I know Buster is known for double stacking, but arts like Buster, you will die out eventually. You will run out of gas and then die. Arts, that doesn't happen. Arts looping teams that are spamming like this only die if you're facing buff removal, or you are fighting someone that is like specifically targeting your Castoria. Like you need to protect your Castoria at all costs. Yeah. Basically only that, when you're support like constant AoE attacks and like your Castoria is being focus fired. Tomomo, like, again, Castoria doesn't provide healing. Tomomo reduces the cooldowns. Castoria can start popping her battery skills more, meaning you're popping your MPs more, trying to suppress fire more. I love Tomomo. She is like my waifu. She is one of my favorite fake characters. She could use a buff though to fit more in the meta. But if you love art looping, you have Castoria, you plan on summoning for Oberon to make your black red looping so consistent, Tomo is a good pick more for challenge quests. She will make your arts unit shine. Yes, you can pick one off your friends list, but maybe you want to pick a different art support in the future, like Lady Avalon, Opus Johanna, like people that buff up damage too, to make Vlad into a literal fucking monster that just starts one-shotting people, not just on his MP, but his arts cards too. Getting ahead of myself though. Scheherazade, she is an AoE arts looper, and she can do the job very well. 6 hits, nothing to scoff at. Seek out damages her, but Seek is an MP5 welfare unit that literally has a kit completely tailored to arcs looping, while Scheherazade is more. She's meant to be used more in harder content, but she can also do the looping. Like battery, arts buff, ideally you'd be popping this on turn 3 though. So a non-standard way of arts looping. Her skills don't really help with arts looping at all. Yeah, no. But her MP is buffed. MP damage. She also reduces debuff resistance. Cool. Power mod against king enemies with not power mod, super effective, sorry, with a very high base modifier. Like Mordred has one of the higher super effective modifiers against Arthur enemies or Artorias. She goes even higher. Like unfortunately there aren't many kings that are also assassins, but it's not like it's completely like gone. She has I believe this is 15 enemies. She has like full, like class advantage and their kings. But type neutral against all those enemies, she does double damage. Oh wait, no. Triple 100% a sec. No, this is double the damage, I think. Pretty sure that's double damage. So yeah, outside of like looping, she actually does hit fairly hard for a AoE unit. Like if you are fighting a king, she's doing like single target damage, much in the same vein as Gilgamesh. Moving on from Scheherazade, we have Sanzang. Oh, damn it. And Sanzang is a single target buster caster that can touch Black Rail because she has an 80% battery that can be double stacked, or not double stacked, but can be reduced to be popped later in the boss fight, like on turn 3. Wait. If you use Atlas, this is, I believe it guarantees you can pop it the next turn on turn 2. But yeah, if you use Atlas, you can do this back to back, which is like kind of like crazy, but probably aren't doing it back to back because you want Oberon if you're using Black Rail like this, or if you're, again, I'm saying challenge quest, so maybe not Oberon, but if you need to go to the distance. She is tanky. She provides good utility to the party. She hits really hard. Like, and she pitches the defense and makes it so they literally cannot crit you the next turn. And since she's mostly fighting assassins, the class that is known for critting and genning stars, although for AI they just crit chance up, this is really good, and it will stop any of your supports from like taking like any high level of damage. What was that? And then we have Anna, Miss favorite servant. She sees him. He sees her all the time, and honestly, some of the memes for her are like hilarious, like so goddamn hot. I love, like, I'm not the biggest fan of her character, but it is adorable when I see that. And this Rio art is adorable too. Low attack. 4 hit arts MP. Low-ish base gain. She's not one of the servants I would recommend you pull off the ticket. Like, I've been contemplating getting her, but yeah, I'm kind of not about it. Kind of not. It's just like everything she does, other units can also do, and she's like not. I would take Scheherazade looping over Anastasia. Like Anastasia, yeah, like Scheherazade just does more damage. And even if she's not getting like a lot of the utility that Anastasia does, because she does have a stun on her battery, which is cool. Stun's not guaranteed. And oh no, it is. Debuff resistance for 1 turn. It is guaranteed. But again, it wants you to pop both of these on turn 3, which for art sleeping is kind of weird because they want you'd want to be popping your batteries, your big batteries and stuff on turn 1, so that Castoria's batteries can be used for later waves to make sure you loop. Yeah, for me, Anastasia's just a little too awkward for art looping. That it's, yeah, like Scheherazade has that problem too, but it's not nearly as egregious, I want to say. Yeah, because this is a mana burst too. You definitely don't want to be popping a mana burst on turn 1. Like this, by default, it would be turn 1, but for farming, this doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Yeah. It's just like, it feels like you're wasting so much. It feels like you're wasting so much. All right, my webcam is starting to get bright. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock now. We gotta pick it up. Actually, we're almost done. Yeah, we're almost done. I thought this wasn't gonna be as long as the GSSR, but I guess it is. All right, we're on assassins. We have 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. And servants, let's go over. Jax is infamous for her card performance being amazing, like literally amazing from when she was released. But they haven't touched her skills. She has needed skill buffs for years, and they've never buffed her skills. The one buff they have given her was a janky ass MP buff. Like really janky. This isn't super effective. This is a power mod because it lasts for 1 turn. This isn't the part that they janked up though. The part they janked up was her MP scaling. This is not a normal jump. This is barely an increase in damage. This isn't even going from MP1 to MP2. This is half of that. They gimped Jack so fucking hard, and it's unfair. They feared Jack's numbers so much that they had to like gimp her MP buff. She needs another MP buff. Just to fix this. And like give her another normal effect. Do not buff the MP just to fix scaling again. Do what you did with Vlad and fucking fix it. Osaka Hime, she's good as a tertiary support. Oh, I'm starting to look like caster. Better, not by much. Okay. Oh well. Is what it is. She's good. She busts quick and buster. She's very, very tanky. She can solo stuff herself. Like, that's how tanky she actually can get. Is she someone you need, though? No. And you can spook her. Li Shuen, again, someone that is 1 turn. I'm not a fan of servants that are, like, completely 1 turn dependent. Unless they are truly tactical nukes. Li Shuen is considered a nuke. But the problem is his nuke damage isn't that high, and he doesn't have a niche to take advantage. His niche is insta-killing, which, unless he's able to do it to servants, yeah, that's not happening. Let me bring this up a little bit more and see. Yeah, 56. I go to Lancers with actual nukes. And yeah, Shisho just like would hit more damage than him against his own class. Shisho in her niche, if it's divine or undead, would hit harder or hit about the same. They would hit about the same as Li Shuan. And then Shisho has like 3-turn crit damage instead of a 3-turn attack buff. Sorry, to fall back on. The other Li Shuan is the same way, so I doubt they will ever go back and buff and give him more 3-turn skills. I think they're always just gonna keep him on 1 turn, which, I mean, he's supposed to be run with Castoria and Tomo, so I guess it's fine. His uptime really isn't going to be that bad, but I still don't like it. I don't like that he has a super high chance to insta-kill, but it's not going to work. At least his MP, like, if you don't consider this part, is pretty good, that it's defense down. That is going to help his damage actually be, like, okay after the 1 turn. But it's still not going to be that good. Like, and the other part to this is you need to crit on these arts cards. You have to. Otherwise, he's not looping his MP. When you crit on them, 100% MP gain. But it's 2 hits. That makes sense. Low hit count, big damage. He is story locked. So if that's your consideration, you can pick him. Berserkers, Vlad, he is ridiculous now. If you do not have a good single target servant and you have Castoria, pick Vlad. He will eviscerate whoever you're fighting, and will get stronger as he does it. And then he also has access to like the best supports to keep him alive, healthy, and doing ridiculously good damage. Q is in a very similar situation where he's getting an MP buff, and it removes all defensive buffs. For a single target Berserker that is literally as tanky as Q Alter, because he does not have any offensive skills. Everything in his kit is defensive, but his MP. That gives him the big damage spike. And he's still like... Okay, yeah, let me bring this up. He does not have any offensive buffs in his kit. Yet, look at who he's like. They have card buffs, and his better competition would be Kintoki, because they both get attack buffs. Like his MP, like he's reliant on his MP though, give him the big attack buff. But Kintoki's his attack buff is 1 turn, while Ku's is every time he MPs. That truly is the best part about Ku. That all his damage steroid comes from his MP, not his skills. So technically, he has a damage buff on demand. It's just you need to rely on guarding. Chongyu, he got better with Roller Scotty coming out by a significant margin. Like, cannot be understated. A quick unit that has triple buster and already has good star weight. Oh, I think I had these in. Yeah, I think I had those. I forgot I had my earbuds in the whole time. Dang. Yeah. So he already has star weight. He already has crit damage in his kit. The thing is, his refund is so atrocious. But, I mean, it can be fixed now with Ruler Scotty, and his overcharge is MP damage, so scales well with Oberon. Thing is, you're probably going to be starting with Gay Scope with him, not Black Rail. There's no fucking way in hell this guy can ever touch Black Rail unless they juice the shit out of his MP gain and give him an MP gain buff. Like, it's not happening. No, most quick servants that have 5 hits cannot touch Black Rail. Ilya can't touch Black Rail. But Atalanta can. Atalanta can touch Black Rail because of how high her refund is. Akatsuki can touch Black Rail, and he has 8 hits. Oh yeah, Atalanta has like 10. Charlemagne has 12. Okitan has 8. Lakshmi can't touch Black Rail. Riddlemart, 6-hit MP. Parvati, I don't think it touched Black Rail, but her looping is like really easy. Again, like you kind of need at least 6 hits. At least 6 hits. Be able to Black Rail with double Scotty and Oberon. Good to point out. Sen no Rikyu, 6 hits, if I'm remembering right. Lancelot, a shit ton of hits. It's like 10 or 14. I fucking forget. It's a lot. Karen, 6 hits, I believe. Summer Scotty, 6 hits. Chongyu is like missing like the hit count, and then his MP gain is not good enough. If you need like a Buster crit servant, like this, he can do the job extremely well with Ruler Scotty. Like Brave Buster Chain with Chongyu is yeah, that kind of damage is just gonna be actually fucking stupid. But a lot of that will be the one turn, and then he's gonna fall off. Not as harshly as say Li Shuen, but there is going to be a significant damage difference between one turn and another, because this is 150 crit damage that he would be losing out on. So the one turn you actually get the triple Buster Chain, all of them critting with like Ruler Scotty buffs, and probably throw in a Vitch crit buff for good measure. It's only gonna last one turn. He's not a farmer. Not unless you are brute forcing this. Nightingale. He is better as a tertiary support and more for plug suiting. You should not pick her from the ticket though. This is a good buff. This is like a little bit of bitches, and yeah, it's bitches kit kind of crammed into one skill and just isn't as good. She doesn't provide the star weight to help enable this. But if you're trying to do a comp that goes like really, really fast, Nightingale is going to give you a good buff for this, because she's upping the crit damage and dropping stars, and then probably dying that turn. More likely than not, she will die that turn because she is a Berserker. So yeah, like cycling in, she's an esports unit, or she's just like someone you bring in to do more damage and up the crit damage. Like, so like kind of the same way you would use Merlin in like setups of just not really Buster farming, just like Buster critting someone down. You would use her the same way you use Merlin, and you might actually choose Nightingale over Merlin because of the star bomb. You might not have any more stars from Vitch, so this is a good star bomb that you can use to at least guarantee that if you get at least a Buster crit, it's gonna crit very hard. We're almost done. I thought this was gonna be like 30 minutes, like plushies. No, I'm going too in depth on this. Plushie writes scripts. I don't write scripts yet. Soon though. Oh, John. She needs buffs so badly. I don't fucking know why they haven't buffed her. Like, they buff Amakusa because of other servants. They don't fucking buff Jeanne when like her role was literally is taken now by Mash, Amakusa, and Castoria. In most situations, you will never use Jeanne, and a big part of it is the fact that her MP scaling is really, really, really fucking stupid and so goddamn whaley that if you don't have MP2, you wouldn't use Jeanne, because this defense buff does fucking nothing. I really don't want to pull Jeanne off this ticket, but I'm strongly considering it because on my NA account, something happened to my Jeanne, and I don't have her anymore. So I keep seeing this do interlude for Jeanne. I can't do Jeanne because I don't have her. If I do pick her, I'll have the servant coins. I'll be able to get her a pen and everything, but she'll still be stuck at MP1. I don't want an MP1 Jeanne. At this point, I'd rather just get spooked and then not use her for a while until I get MP2. And she got a good costume from Grail Live, but fix your shit, lasagna, please, please. I know, like this was really quick, but Jeanne was shit at release. She's not that much better. The only good part about Jeanne now is she doesn't stun herself on her MP anymore. Sitonai. If you are brand new to the game, Sitonai is probably going to be one of the more appealing options. I think Vlad would probably be better and more usable, but Sitonai, you can use her to fight cavalry, riders, casters, and assassins. This is your all-in-one. She needs another buff though, or not another. She needs a buff though. Yeah, it's just stuff about Sitonai's kit. Like, this is good stuff. Like, there's nothing egregious about her kit. It's more she's like, yeah, it's, there's RNG in her kit, and she's not doing, she's not doing that much better than her competition in the other classes, because these would be doing more damage. For caster enemies, you would not pick Sitonai over Ozzy. No, what? Let me be more fair, because Ozzy isn't a fair comparison. I'm trying to find a single target that like actually is fair comparison. Yeah, no, like they're, especially because Kintoki now is, you can always get him on JP. He's going to be in the shop permanently. Oh my god. I can't believe they put that note there. But yeah, like welfare, single target, he's gonna be there. Like, after your account gets better, there's no reason to use Sitonai. That's what I'm saying, unless you're fighting a foreigner. But at least the it's mostly this part. Like, she has dragon niche, but nothing to really use it on, and this doesn't really matter. Like, how often is this actually going to come up? Like, you might kill the dragon. Like, yes, there are dragon servants, and a good portion of them are cavalry class. It's just that a lot of these you don't see ever in nodes. Like Kyo, Q10, and the Lizard, and this Liz are probably the most common. And yeah, like if you're a newer account, there's nothing wrong with Sitonai, but you'd be better off picking Vlad, who has actually gotten love. He's gotten 2 MP buffs, and I think 2 skill buffs as well. Yeah, he's gotten so many buffs, like to fix what they did in year 1, because they were afraid of his damage, which they shouldn't have even been afraid of. Yeah, Sitonai, if you like Ilya, pick her, but she's not someone I like. There are a bunch of 4 stars that can do what you need her to do. If you only have art supports, she goes up in value immensely. But you should not like be banking on Sitonai to take care of everything at a certain point in the game. Not until they like buffer or something. Last servant on this list, Jinako. And Jinako is like the tankiest servant in the fucking game. I believe they have the highest HP in the entire game. And their kit is like, she has a tank kit. Support, full on support on the first skill. Taunt, damage cut for that taunt turn. Increases zone attack. Very tank, like this is just a tanky servant. Like targeted invul increases their MP gen, MP damage, and lawful power mod. So like she is full on support tank. And she does like, yes, she skill seals them, but you can cleanse this off. Like if you're running with Castoria MP will cleanse it off, and cooldowns will still go down. And then her MP grants her invul too, and reduces enemy defense, activates first, and heals. Like, Jinako isn't a servant that I thought I would be recommending for anyone anytime soon. She's voiced by Yuki. Are you? I have never heard this. That's crazy. I didn't know she voiced Jinako. My god, that is such Yukio. Her range is so fucking ridiculous. She is just a super tanky servant that is Moon Cancer. So she's not, you're not gonna fight people that actually can like get her like her low HP that easily. Her base attack is 4-star number, like low 4, not the lowest 4-star number attack, but this is the lowest 5-star number in the game. 100%. It's Jinako and Jalter are the two ends for 5-star attack, and that's why the middle is 1500 or 11,500, because it's 4,000 difference. Wait, at least I think she's the lowest base attack. Is there? I know she has lower attack than Qinshi Wang and yeah, she should be she's the like the 5-star that should be hitting the lowest. But if you want a Giga Chad tanky servant, like I've seen Miss 121, and that thing doesn't, that Jinako doesn't fucking die. That thing does not fucking die, and it barely takes damage. Not Kiara level, and it's very, very slow, and it's not like, but she is a genuine tank. I did not think I'd be like bumping up this servant's value that much, but she's not as bad of a servant to get spooked by as you'd think. Yes, I am salty that she spooked me when I was summoning on for Tyra banner like years ago when I first started playing the game on JP. Yes, I'm still salty about that. But Jinako isn't a bad unit, and she's a rare class. If you're fighting an Avenger boss, good fucking luck dying. I genuinely like don't think you will die. So, with me breaking down all these servants out of the way, what do I think are the highest priority? Waver, Tamamo, Vlad, just because arts, he will be more protected and like can do more shit. After that, I would like Ozzy too, but I think you would get more use out of Vlad than you would Ozzy. Yeah, after, if you already have these three, you can kind of just pick what you need for your account. If you need a Buster Farmer, Drake, Tesla, Artoria are the best recommendations for that role, whether you need it type neutral or not. If you need arts farmers, Scheherazade is the only one on this list, okay, that I would recommend. Pick Looper. I don't recommend anyone here for quick looping. Yeah, and then DPS. Pick who you need. Fill in the gaps for your account. Don't. Besides these three, fill in the gaps for your account. If you're missing something, pick them off this ticket. But again, if you like having multiple different servants, you already have a lot of the servants of these roles. Just pick one you don't have. I would preface someone that you cannot get spooked on normal banners, especially summoning 4-bitch or Oberon. Because I think that's what happened to my Artoria. I pulled her off the ticket, and then an Artoria spooked me like 2 weeks later. So that was fun. Oh well, she's MP3 now, so I have no worries. I have no worries farming. All right, this video went long enough. I honestly didn't even think I was gonna do it today. I was gonna save this for the weekend, but I see people pulling out the list already, and I don't want to completely get buried. Yeah. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, comment, sub, all that good YouTube stuff. I'm putting this at the end of the video because I'm really bad about selling out mid-video. So, thank you for watching.